So I know this is a Knights channel and all, but we're going to talk about the games in the playoffs. We're going to keep trying to stay up to date with it. So we're just going to jump straight into some of these games. You got the Bruins and the Blue Jackets. First game on Thursday, the 25th.
Yep. So this game settled in overtime. Bruins take an early lead in the first period. They score to extend that lead in the third period. Blue Jackets come back 2 goals, force it to overtime, and then a great little feed in front of the net. Bruins take game one. These two teams are both looking pretty solid right now. Could go either way based on just that game.
Okay, well, the next team up is the Stars versus the Blues. We're looking at a 2-3 Blues win. They're game one.
Yeah, it's the round that no one would have ever predicted. Everyone would have predicted Winnipeg, and I think a lot of people were predicting Nashville. So anything that happens here is pure chaos. And the Blues win this one, a goal in every period, 1, 2, and 3. Stars pick up a goal in the second and third period, but not enough. Blues hold on for the win on that one.
So Friday, the 26th of April, you have the Hurricanes versus the Islanders. Only 1 goal scored in that game, and it was for the Hurricanes.
And it was in overtime. No goals scored in the first 60 minutes of play. The Peter Mrazek and Robin Lehner playing out of their minds. Crazy defensive game. There was 1 goal that was disallowed for goaltender interference, which the Islanders pretty salty about. So, especially because you lose this game. So Hurricanes take a lead in this one. Again, a game, a round that no one would have predicted last season. I don't think a lot of people would have picked the Hurricanes to come out. Almost nobody picked the Islanders, even though the Islanders were a better team than the Penguins. Pure chaos.
Well, also on Friday, you have the Avalanche versus the Sharks. Now, the Sharks won their first game of the series 5-2.
I'm not talking about it. Moving on.
Okay, Saturday, the 27th. You have the game 2 for the Stars and the Blues, and you have the Stars winning it, tying up that series 1-1.
Yeah, crazy first period in this one. So the Stars score, and then we get a 4-on-4 for 2 minutes, and 3 goals are scored on 3 shots. Stars score, and then a couple seconds later the Blues score, and then a couple seconds later the Stars score. 3 shots back and forth, 3 goals. Crazy game. Stars come out on top of this one 4-2, but not for lack of trying on the Blues' part. The Blues scored late to get the score to 3-2, and then had a couple good chances, but the Stars buried the empty netter to get the 4-2 scoreline.
Now, the Blue Jackets and the Bruins met on Saturday as well for their game 2. The Blue Jackets winning it 3-2, tying up that series as well, 1-1 in second overtime.
Yeah, I should mention the Stars Blues had home ice on that one. That series is split 1-1. Bruins Blue Jackets. The Bruins had home ice on this one, and they split this one as well. Like I said, the Blue Jackets, they're not going away anytime soon. Bruins take an early lead in this one, extend it to 2-0. Blue Jackets come back, tie it up in the second period. Tough defensive third period. First overtime, nothing. Second overtime, great. Like one of the best goals scored so far in the postseason, just across the net mouth. Well, actually, I think it was on a power play. Matt Duchene. Yeah, it was on a power play. Goal bounces off Rask. Duchene kicks it up across over to his stick and buries it. Really cool looking goal.
Sunday, April 28th, you have the only series to currently be up 2-0 right here. The Hurricanes and the Islanders. Hurricanes winning their game 2-1.
On Islanders ice. The Hurricanes, who only won 1 game against the Capitals in, I think, is the Capitals Arena Capital One Arena? It might be. Fucking tools. The Hurricanes winning only 1 game in Washington and have now won 2 on Long Island. And they're heading back home where they have been spotless so far in the postseason. So we'll see if they can continue that.
Now the Avs and the Sharks meet again for their game 2, and the Avalanche wins 4-3, tying up the series 1-1.
Yep. Sharks take an early lead in this one. Avs come back in the second, score 2 goals. And then the Sharks come rocketing back. I believe the scoreline when the Sharks pulled their goalie was 3-2 or 1-3 maybe. I think the Sharks scored 1 with their goalie out, but the Avalanche buried the empty netter to get the 1-goal advantage. That was all they needed to win. A little bit of controversy from this one, actually. I can talk about. So Tyson Barrie, the Avalanche's second goal, so this was the go-ahead goal at the time. Debatably an icing. It was a race back behind the San Jose net. I think it was pretty close. It did kind of look like the Sharks player won the race, so it should have been icing. But it was really close, and that kind of call happens all the time. But I mean, I don't know about you, but I've been raking in the dough of these dividends that we've had because we are living rent-free in the Sharks' head. There are these great clips of the Sharks announcer when the puck is behind the Sharks' net saying behind the Vegas net, and after that icing call, one of the Sharks players said, "Oh, I expect an apology from the league." Like, they have not let it go. We all as Knights fans have ascended onto a higher plane of hockey post-seasondom, whereas we are living rent-free in their heads.
Well, this is all we have to talk about with the playoffs. Now to talk about some Knights news in general, yes, it is official.
News.
The apology is official on the play.
It is official. Yeah, no, hey, turns out they was wrong. You know how I said, like, oh, it's never going to happen. We're never going to get an apology. Nothing's going to happen.
Yeah,
dude, it was so satisfying to get it. Honestly, like, when I read that, I was like, no way. And I just felt like happiness swell inside of me, because it's like, and then like you I was reading like Reddit comments and people are like, oh, but like, don't score, blah, 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 don't allow 4 goals, bullshit, right? But like reading serious hockey people, serious media people who like actually like follow the game, they were pretty much agreeing with the idea that, yeah, no, that call changed. It shouldn't have. It was clearly erroneously wrong, and I don't think that anyone was really arguing that it wasn't wrong. And if you accept that premise, then like everything else afterwards is like it's cake, basically. So,
well, let's talk about
so
some
satisfying.
Other Knights
so
news
satisfying.
we have going on. We have Shea, Marshy, and Stone all going to be playing for Team Canada, the World Championship.
Yep. I don't think Team USA has been announced, but we also don't have that many American players. Schultz probably would not play. I mean, he's a college kid, basically. Team Canada is taking a couple young goaltenders, but for the most part, they're taking veteran NHL guys on their actual team. I believe Schmidt could play, but
For the US?
I don't know. We don't have.
Probably.
We are a fairly Canadian American hockey team.
Well, we got Schmidt, Tuck, and Patches.
Yep, Schmidt, Tuck, and Patches, all of them. That would, I mean, I could see no Patches. Yeah, no, he's American. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. No, I could see Schmidt. I could see Patches. The rest, but I mean, like, if you had to say like who is Team Canada gonna take, Stone would have been my top candidate, and I don't know that I would have come up with Theodore, a fairly young defenseman. I mean, he's a top line player, excellent defenseman he's been making leaps and strides in his development over the past season. And Marchessault, that's sort of an interesting one. A great player, obviously, top line player, excellent player, but I could probably think of one or two forwards who are better, but also like maybe they just didn't want to go play, right? Sidney Crosby, for example, I believe he's not on the team. So I don't know.
Do you have any other news you want to talk about before we leave for the day?
Well, I just wanted to like put a couple names out there that Knights fans are going to start hearing about. Well, actually, let's talk about guys who need to either be re-signed or let go. I think big one, William Karlsson. I believe he's going to be re-signed. I think he's going to be re-signed for about $5 million, which is about what Smith and Marchessault are making. I think he's going to slot right back into his first line role. I think he likes it here in Vegas, and I don't think he's going to be a big problem. I think we're going to hear about a contract being signed with him pretty quick. Besides that, couple forwards, Belmar. needs to be re-signed if you're going to re-sign him. I don't know that we will. I love Belmar. Great story. Excellent guy. I mean, one of our best penalty killers. But there's not really the space for him, all things considered. I would love to see Belmar come back to run back this season, but he's getting up there. I believe he's 34. Older guy. I think he's going to be looking for somewhere maybe with a little bit of term, a 3-4 year deal with one of these teams that is trying to rebuild right now. And I think he could do a lot of good on a team like that. And Vegas just doesn't have the space or the cap for him. Besides that, the other big one is going to be Derek England. His contract is up. He looked a little flat-footed in the playoffs. His age is starting to show. He's still a great top line or like second line defenseman. He's done great things for our young defensemen, helping their development. And he's a great guy to have in the room, leader on the team. But we have a couple high quality defensemen coming up. Schultz, obviously, I think he's going to be getting time on one line or the other. And then you also have down in the AHL pushing for a job, you have Zach Whitecloud and Nick Hague. Both of these guys I think they would be ready to play in the NHL right now, and I think they could slide right in. We just don't really have the spots for them. I think out of the two, Hague is more likely to come up. So if you're going to be hearing about a defenseman to replace somebody, or maybe there might be a move, John Merrill has a lot of value right now, and if you're going to move somebody, I don't see. There's been some talk about moving Colin Miller, but right-handed shot defenseman like that hard to come by. Especially, I mean, he's a good defenseman, so. The only real big move that I see happening on the blue line is I don't think Derek England's going to get re-signed. I think he's going to be replaced, and I think we're going to see either Hague or Whitecloud move up, probably Hague. Besides that, a couple other... I mean, there's like some various forwards that you've probably heard about. Peary, he's probably going to go he's probably going to go play somewhere else. He doesn't really have a spot on this team. Carpenter, his time is up. I think Carpenter could go find somewhere else, and he could be a good player somewhere for another team. And that's about it. And then just as like one thing right at the end here. So we have all heard Nikita Gusev signed, didn't play. So there is going to be a new contract announced for him for next season. He's almost certainly going to play. And then there is another Russian prospect who has narrowed down his teams to either Toronto or Vegas. And that is Ilya Mikheyev. Yeah, no. So this guy,
goes all of our Russian viewer base.
Iiyamikheyev. Mikheyev. Anyway, so this guy, he's a free agent, coming out of the KHL. Good sort of fast skater, defensively responsible winger, and it would be cool to have another Russian on the team for Gusev. I'm not sure. Sometimes with Russian players coming over, sometimes they don't always speak the language well, but it seems like he wants to come over, and then he's going to sign with either Toronto or Vegas, whichever team is willing to give him the ice time. I mean, you could see it going either way, right? I think Vegas would love to have him. He's a great player. I think Toronto would also love to have him. Both Toronto and Vegas both have cap problems, so it seems like he doesn't want to get paid all that much, or at least he would be willing to take a cut to play in a big market on a team that is a contender. So if you start hearing about this guy, he's good, basically.
Well, that is all we have time for. We will be back to talk about more playoff games. We can always give more information on these events as they transpire. We will talk to you guys next time.